And welcome back to the channel. I'm Brant Fowler and I'm ready to talk about only good comics. Now let's hit that intro. This time we're going to talk about WildCATS, issue number 1, 2022 version by Matthew Rosenberg and Steven Segovia and Elmer Santos on colors. Now before we get into today's video, if you do enjoy the content on this channel, go ahead and smash that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single video going up on Only Good Comics. And give us a thumbs up because it really does help the channel out. And you can follow me across social media at Only Good Comics. Now, let's get back to today's video. If you're a fan of the original WildCATS back in early Image 1992, Jim Lee, and that whole thing, I think that this version of WildCATS is the closest to capturing the original vibe of this team and these characters. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit. And I got the Zealot cover here. I believe this is Argerm. Just a gorgeous cover there. So WildCATS, again, was one of those original Image titles. And when Jim Lee sold Wildstorm to DC and tried to revive it there several times throughout the past decades, it never quite captured, for me as a reader, the original vibe of those characters and that story that they were telling enough to keep me invested. But this particular issue I thought was really well done and I really enjoyed it. While this series does take place in the main DCU and does follow off of what we've seen of these characters, Grifter interacting with Batman and Gotham and all that stuff since, you know, Rebirth and everything, and they've been integrated within the DCU, it still feels like its own thing here. They've moved out of Gotham and they've started adding people to the ranks. Not just Zealot and Grifter, but now they've even brought in Fairchild from Gen 13 and other characters we've seen pop up here. I think Maul even makes an appearance here. And Spartan is starting to come in, but he's not the leader of the team yet at this point. It's kind of Grifter's show. So Grifter has always been the most popular character. I think it was probably Grifter and was it Ripclaw? Because Ripclaw is very Wolverine-like, and Zealot was always a popular character as well. We haven't seen Voodoo in this issue yet, but like I said, this story picks up with Grifter drinking in a bar and getting a fight, and that's how it typically goes. But I don't know, something about this version of WildCATS just felt more like classic Image version WildCATS. We see Fairchild and Zealot here on mission, and they're not really trusting Fairchild because she's a younger person. They don't know what she's capable of and everything, and she goes into action and kind of saves the day in this issue as the whole thing gets underway. They're actually facing off against Green Arrow in this because he kind of stumbles onto their operation and mistakes them for villains or whatever, and so it's a battle between Green Arrow and all of them, and Fairchild kind of saves the day for them. And we leave off with Grifter, Fairchild, and Zealot being surrounded by the Court of Owls. So yes, you are completely ingrained in DCU, but it's corners of DCU that currently aren't being visited, like the Court of Owls, like Green Arrow. I know we're getting a new Green Arrow series coming up, but he hasn't really taken the forefront for a while. So we're getting to see them interact with the underbelly of the DC universe and in kind of a cool way. And we get that classic wit of Grifter, kind of a little bit self-deprecating, a little bit cocky, a little bit, I don't know, just kind of brash and does whatever the heck he wants to do. We still got, I cannot think of his name, the guy that leads them, the Jacob something, I can't think of his last name. He's Marlowe. He's still in charge. He's kind of running things from the corporate level and putting them out on the missions and everything. So they're basically mercenaries, right? And less of a superhero team, more of a mercenary vibe. and it kind of works for them within the context of DC. And it's going to be interesting to see what Rosenberg does with these characters going forward. Like if he does kind of continue to explore those darker corners of DC with like the Court of Owls, and maybe have them, I don't know, run up against, I don't know, like if they go to Metropolis and go up against like the what is, I keep forgetting the name of like the underground mob culture in Metropolis. It's crime song, I'd forget what it's called, but anyway, you know what I'm talking about if you're a DC fan. But anyway, I think that this book did a really good job at reintroducing a lot of these characters, and for anybody new to Wildcats, you at least understood the base core elements of each of these individual characters in this story, and got a good introduction to what this story is going to be about. And if you're a classic Wildcats fan, then you have enough of the classic vibe in certain characters to kind of pick up on that and kind of take that into the next era, and not feel like you're completely losing your characters and they're acting out of turn and doing different things. But you do have to accept that this is a new version of these characters. These are characters that exist within DC. They're not on the same trajectory that original WildCATS series was, or even the ones when Wildstorm was its own imprint. But it's still the same kind of antics. And with Grifter at the lead, it gives a different dynamic to the team as well, which is actually quite interesting. So hopefully it continues to hold my interest, but this issue I actually really enjoyed. I didn't get to be on Comic Book Weekly the week that this came out, so I didn't get to talk about this, and neither Mike nor Kat read this book. So I was going to be the only one to talk about it, and it probably would have been in my top 5 that week. So I definitely wanted to do a video on this channel, which is Only Good Comics. So if you enjoyed Wildcats, let me know in the comments below, because I would love to talk to other people that found something to love in this version of Wildcats. Or if you have other thoughts, leave those as well. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe and notification bell so you don't miss any content. You can follow me across social media at Only Good Comics, and then join me next time for more Only Good Comics. Take care.